Thank you for joining us for this year's Light of Hope presentation. I am Farrah Roberts on behalf of Prevent Child Abuse Calaveras, Court-Appointed Special Advocates of Calaveras. We welcome you to recognize April as Child Abuse Prevention Month. It takes many things to prevent child abuse. It takes efforts by the community to offer support to families. It takes strength within them to weather the challenges of bringing up children. It takes resources to turn to when something goes wrong and when people need help. It takes a trauma-informed approach to care and education. It takes resilience in adults to show children the path. The Harvard Center for the Developing Child has found that one of the most important factors for outcomes in children is for adults to be the one. Children need at least one consistent adult who will offer them guidance and unconditional support. They need adults who provide them mentorship and care. Children can first find the support through their parents. Sometimes they find the support through teachers, counselors, and people in the community. The writer Edith Wharton is quoted as saying, "There are two ways of spreading light, to be the candle or the mirror that reflects it. This is what the Light of Hope is. It is being the candle for the child when they are in their darkest times. It is being the mirror which reflects the light when the child becomes brighter and they can stand on their own." In this presentation, Katie will reflect on her life in foster care and how one of the adults in her life was the light of hope for her. Judge David Sanders of the Superior Court of Calaveras joins us in recognizing individuals throughout Calaveras County who have been nominated as Lights of Hope for the children in our community. Brittany, a council member from Prevent Child Abuse Calaveras, shares a poem. Thank you to Katie, Judge Sanders, and Brittany for taking the time to help us with this presentation. Thank you to all of you who helped nominate individuals to be recognized. Thank you to those who have been nominated and have diligently worked in the community to be the one for children.
Hi, I am Katie. I am a former foster child, and I would like to tell you about the person who was my light of hope. Growing up in foster care here in Calaveras County, I spent about 7.5 years in the system. I lived in 14 different foster homes and attended 6 different schools. Throughout my childhood, I experienced many different challenges. I was often bullied by others and made fun of for being a foster child. As I grew into my teen years, I was angry. In many ways, my behavior was out of control. I easily lashed out in anger. It was easy to feed off others' negative behavior and to wear a tough girl's attitude. Because of the many times I moved, I was behind when I entered high school. It was then I met my light of hope, a person who took the time to break through my shell. She was persistent in reaching out to me. She proved to be there through the hardest times. When I first met Miss Combs, I did not necessarily appreciate her. I considered her to be superficial, like many of the other adults who tried to help me through the years. She was the school guidance counselor. She always wanted to talk to me, wanted me to go deeper. She wanted to push me to do harder things. In the beginning, I did not want anything to do with her. Time went on, and I found I was able to talk to her. I was able to talk to her about life, and I was able to go deeper. Miss Combs helped me learn how to react to those who were negative around me. She made me realize that people were looking for some kind of reaction out of me. To get through high school, she taught me not to be impulsive, but to stop, listen, and deal with the challenges in front of me. Miss Combs helped me with tangible things too, like encouraging me to volunteer at school to gain work experiences. She helped me get my worker's permit so I could work towards my goal of emancipation. When I experienced a family tragedy, she took the time to be with me and drive me to appointments in order to qualify for benefits. I think one of the things she made me realize back then is something I still carry with me today. Just because I had bad things happen to me, this did not mean I had to continue on a bad path. If it were not for the things she did for me and taught me, I feel my life would be different. Now my goal is to be this kind of support for other people. For those out there still dealing with abuse and neglect, know that there is hope. Do not let the hard times completely define you. You can fight through it and come out on the other side. Look for those people who can stand by you and support you. For those of you supporting children, know that you can be the one. It takes a commitment, it takes time to build trust, but you can provide a light in their darkest times. As for Miss Combs, she is still a part of my life as I continue to learn from her and her parenting classes. She has helped me become a better parent who can recognize the challenges my children are facing. She has helped me break the cycle of abuse in my family. For all she has done, I will always be grateful. Thank you for listening to my story, and thank you for being a light of hope.
Hello everybody, I am David Sanders. I'm one of our Superior Court judges. I serve as the presiding juvenile judge and as the Unified Family Law judge. In my roles doing that, I handle the dependency calendar, juvenile justice calendar, family law calendar, domestic violence calendar, guardianships, and adoption. So I see the work that goes into trying to help our most treasured and vulnerable children firsthand. I see it from the first step to the last step. And one of the things I am proudest of that I get to do is to be part of this ceremony. The people that we are going to honor, the people who nominated the people we're going to honor, the people who work with the people we're going to honor are our treasures. They are truly our everyday heroes, seeing to our most vulnerable youth, being there for them. It truly does take a village to raise children in general, and for these, our foster children, our children in the dependency system, our non-minor dependent children, they need the most help, and we are here to honor the people who help them the most. I'm not going to take a lot of time telling you about me, because I think this is all about the awardees. Most of them I do work with, and I can't be more thrilled than I am. Their names are going to be etched onto the Light of Hope Award, which sits here in my courtroom. I love when people say, "What is that?" So I get to tell them, and I get to encourage them. Become a foster parent, become a CASA, get involved, be a mentor, however you can try and help. Offer a job to a foster child. Whatever you can do to help is wonderful. So let me go ahead and tell you who is this year's Light of Hope Award recipients. We start with Maggie Rawlings. Maggie is on the Prevent Child Abuse Council, the Calaveras Trauma Consortium. She's a home visitor with the Resource Connection, working with the littlest children at home who are not yet ready for school. She also serves on the Board of Trustees of Mark Twain Unified School District. She was described in her nomination as a beacon of light to so many children and families throughout the county. She is a fierce advocate for creating a trauma-informed and resilient community, and she volunteers countless hours where she uses her wisdom and knowledge to help empower families. She brings her experience of creating a forever family, adopting children from foster care as she connects with the many families in the community. Thank you, Maggie, for the work you do. Our next awardee is Laura Larson. Laura is the director of the Child Welfare Agency, what many people think of as CPS. Laura was nominated by a couple of individuals from her team. The nominees describe her as a bright light among her team, the community, and that she has a passion for children. This is reflected in how the social workers that she supervises interact with their families. Laura is a ray of hope to each and every child who passes through the system. The children and family do not realize that the light shines through her development of policies to better the community. I serve on a number of interagency committees with Laura. She is behind almost everything that happens in this county from a policy standpoint that helps our children. Her team has always had the right tools to make big impacts each and every day. Laura uses family strengths, focusing on behavior changes and ensuring that children in our community have safe, loving homes. She's very passionate about developing a supportive team for all children and families, and using that team to help the family create safety without formal involvement from any agency wherever possible. This has prevented families from further involvement in child welfare and has kept families intact and helped to lift up the most vulnerable children without causing them any unnecessary trauma. Her work at understanding and implementing prevention programs is just another way that she is lighting the way for children and families. Thank you for everything you do, Laura. Our next honoree is Pam Kramer. Pam works as a big support for the Head Start program operated by the Resource Connection. Most foster youth in preschool end up at her campuses. She has been instrumental in making the campuses trauma-informed and particularly reopened a campus in Jenny Lind, which is a trauma-focused school, and I would note that Jenny Lind has Calaveras County's highest number of foster youth, so it's absolutely meeting a huge need. Pam was described as warm, encouraging, and dedicated. Pam supports families in a caring way, free of judgment. In her role as the support services manager at the Resource Connection, she works with the parents of high-risk children. She works in partnership with the parents and helps them develop plans to address trauma or challenging behavior. She helps the parents understand how trauma impacts their children and that it lasts through adulthood. She works directly with children, helping them to gain skills and build resilience, and help them to gain social skills to be successful at school and throughout life. She's being recognized for going out of her way to help parents find resources that can support them in their role as parents and their children's advocate. She's been known to help any parent, whether or not they end up enrolling in her programs. Her commitment is evident in her daily work. She possesses a balance of drive and passion that keeps her focused on the end result, which is getting children what they need and supporting parents in gaining knowledge and resources. Thank you, Pam, for everything you do. Our next awardee is Justin Simcoe. Justin is a social worker and has been described by one of the children he works with as someone who stands with me, who feels I am a top priority and he helps me. Justin is also described as someone who presents a can-do attitude. He stands ready to listen and work with what is available to make solutions happen. Justin has been sitting and taking the time with the child to speak directly with that youth in age-appropriate language, so they know directly from him what is happening with their case. From the foster parent's perspective, Justin picks up the phone and he returns their calls. He wraps them in warm feelings that he is there for them and they feel important. I also deal with Justin a lot because he picks up all the cases where the parents have not been able to find their way out of dependency, and I handle the adoptions, which at least ends happy with a forever family. Thank you, Justin, for all that you do. The next honoree is Greg Smith. Greg is a mentor with the Calaveras Youth Mentoring Program. He's described as enthusiastic and upbeat. As a mentor volunteer, he is generous with his time and his own resources so that his mentees can participate in different experiences. Greg is good at connecting youth with community service projects and offering to help them learn how to golf. While this year has been a difficult one for connecting with youth because of social distancing, Greg rose to the challenge and he helped create a new group for mentors to connect. Greg is recognized for truly supporting youth and young adults in their life journey. Thank you, Greg, for everything you do. Our next honoree is Amanda Drayton. While Amanda's official job is assistant principal at Bret Harte High School, she is recognized as being much more than that. Amanda works diligently to make the lives of everyone around her better. Her easygoing, positive, and friendly persona shines brightly in all situations. Amanda is seen to be able to establish relationships with children and adolescents with ease and grace. She is caring, kind, and treats all students with respect and adoration. She is witnessed to make connections with students from all different backgrounds. She has an open mind and heart to listen to all the traits and tribulations that make up the youth experience. Amanda does her best to control students who need mental health support and provide solution-based guidance to those who are struggling. Many parents and students seek her out specifically as she makes them feel heard, understood, and provides a non-judgmental outlook to situations. She inspires others to offer unconditional love guidance, and support to all her students. Thank you, Amanda, for everything you do. Our next honoree is Carrie Cannon. Carrie is also a social worker with the Health and Human Services Agency. She's being recognized for continually moving forward and representing the child's best interest. She's described by one of the children she has served as someone who does not sugarcoat it. She tells the truth, and I can always trust her. She's been able to connect with youth by recognizing their interests and remembering these details throughout the relationship. Carrie is appreciated for being straightforward and dedicated to getting the job done. Carrie takes the time to clarify issues and solutions, even when it can be exhausting. Carrie is an anchor that you can count on, and she will not give up. Thank you, Carrie, for everything you do. Our next honoree is Heather Gomes Rickerson. I work with Heather, who is a CASA, and she is notably recognized for trusting her gut when it comes to advocating for kids. She has been a CASA volunteer for 8 children over the last 3 years. She has navigated through a number of difficult challenges, spending over 200 volunteer hours and 1,800 miles while working on her cases. Heather has a sweet persona with the children, not to mention as a pastry chef, she often brings delicious sweets along. The children she works with really connect with her. There have been a few times when Heather has recognized that something on the surface was not right for the child. Heather dug deeper and was able to get to the heart of her suspicions, helping to change outcomes for the child. She has not been afraid to take on challenges and to be open to different needs of the family that she has served. Thank you, Heather, for everything you do. Our final honoree this year is Denise Combs. Denise is a counselor and parent educator. She works with parents as an in-home behavioral specialist. She is well trained in a number of evidence-based practices in helping children with trauma. Denise has been nominated not only by our guest speaker, Katie, but also by a resource family in the community. Denise is recognized for her kind, gentle nature. She is described as very insightful as well. Denise is well known in the county for working with children who have experienced trauma. She works with the children who come to her with suffering, and she helps them improve their lives to move past the pain. Even during the pandemic, Denise was able to connect with families and to provide concrete support. She makes herself available even on short notice. She encourages families even when things seem impossible to change. Denise has helped countless children in the Calaveras community and beyond. Her contributions have helped shape futures and careers. It is without a doubt that Denise has been a light of hope in many lives. Thank you, Denise, for everything that you do. I look forward to, in a couple of weeks, having all of this year's exemplary honorees having their names etched on the Light of Hope Award, which will continue to shine here in my courtroom with the help of everybody that works with these children, including this year's honorees, past honorees, and the future honorees I'm looking forward to being able to announce. Thank you, everybody.
This poem was found in a book of quotations compiled by Dan Zadra and Kobe Yamada, titled, "How Many People Does It Take to Make a Difference?" The author is unknown. How many people does it take to make a difference? 1. One song can spark a moment. One flower can wake the dream. One tree can start a forest. One bird can herald spring. One smile begins a friendship. One hand clasp lifts a soul. One star can guide a ship at sea. One word can frame the goal. One vote can change a nation. One sunbeam lights a room. One candle wipes out darkness. One laugh will conquer gloom. One step must start each journey. One word must start a prayer. One hope will raise our spirits. One touch can show you care. One voice can speak with wisdom. One heart can know what's true. One life can make a difference. That difference starts with you.